Right, good evening, students. Yes, can you all hear me, guys? Okay, I'm sorry. In my package, there's only 100 participants, so I think it's filled. No, I wanted to go with YouTube also, but we did not have time to set those things right now. So, can you all hear me? Is it clear, Sami? Is the board clear? Can you all hear me clearly? Can? Right, okay. So, as I said, I'll be mainly focusing on finance management. So, students, most of you are obtain the recording, no, for the group 2 and group 1 we completed the theory 2, group 2 you all watch the recording. So today's session I'll be mainly focusing on finance management. We will be doing the summarizer as well as we'll be looking into the past paper questions as well as certain part 2 questions, and if time permits I'll be doing business plan as well as one information management too, right? Okay, right. So let me start with finance management. I'll highlight first of all the key areas that you should know, right? Okay, right. Number one, you should be able to define finance management. You should be able to know the objectives, and then the third area you should be knowing what are the main financial management decisions, right? Okay, so these are the three areas initially you should be knowing, right? After that we have to learn about planning and control and about ratio calculations too, right? So first of all, guys, okay, when we define finance management, right? Okay, when we define, you should always know even the definition is linked with the main objectives, right? Okay, so you all know that in management chapter we had completed business management, operations. We did all the chapters are done now, guys. Okay, so what is management actually? It's all about you are using the resources efficiently in order to achieve the goals and objectives effectively. So the objective, guys, okay, in finance management there is one main objective. Now as I said you all, even celebrities who make very good money, even they have a fund manager or they have a finance manager because they are unable to use their money properly, use their finance properly. So if you have a finance manager, if you have a finance manager in your organization, what will you say him? මම සල්ලි දෙන්නම් ඔයා ඒක මට ඩබල් ට්‍රිපල් කරලා දෙන්න. நான் உங்களுக்கு சல்லி தரேன், நீங்க அதை 2 மடங்காக்கி 3 மடங்கு தாங்க. No, you will say him, please multiply whatever I give you, right? For that only you need a finance manager. So the main objective is what maximizing business related value. Maximizing business. First of all, listen, right? Then some of you all might be wanting to know, so from where are the PDFs? How can we do the questions? I will say within 5 minutes, guys. Okay, right? So the main objective is maximizing business related value. What does it mean, guys? Okay, that means increasing the owners or shareholders wealth. First of all, put that into your head, right? Okay, now actually or no one is, I directed this towards class students only, but I gave it in my channel, so there might be 1 or 2 external students, right? Okay, so therefore, guys, now there is no time to read the theory and then you are not supposed to memorize, no. So make a kohomada ikmantu load dagane, right? Finance management, before we define, you have to understand the main objective is what? Maximizing business related value. So how to maximize business related value? You have to make 2 important decisions for that. Number one is from where are we going to collect the money? කොහෙන්ද සල්ලි ගන්න යන්නේ? That is known as, we call it as financing decision. No, එංගාල සල්ලි විපුරන. For example, if I want to make money, I should make a decision like, am I going to obtain a bank loan? Am I going to sell my house? I need money to make money, guys. Okay, so money makes money, right? Okay, financing decision. And the next important decision I have to make is, where am I going to use the money into? We call it as investing decisions, Pudha, right? Okay. So we have financing decisions and we have investing decisions. So based on these two, let's create the definition, guys. What is it? Finance management refers to the process of, right, okay, involving in management activities, right, by making the appropriate financing and investment decision in order to in order to maximize shareholders wealth or maximize owners wealth or maximize business related value. It is the management process which involves of making appropriate decisions with related to financing and investment in order to achieve the main objective of what? Maximizing business related value. I hope you all understood that. Can I know, guys? Okay, give me a reply. Whether you understood what is meant by finance management. It's all about managing your finance resources by making appropriate financing and investment decision in order to achieve the main objective of maximizing business related value. Can I get a reply, guys? Okay. I'm going to pause. I'll continue after that. What the pause karanda? Like, did you all understand what represent? I will just take your chat option to my iPad also so that I can. So I said you all to join on time. Right? Okay. So listen. Now it's not about writing anything today. Hari, I'll give the summarizer PDF also. First of all, guys, I put up Danagamu. We'll know about this chapter rather than just memorizing the notes. Hari. So finance management is all about managing the finance. Again, right? Okay. So what does it mean? You have to involve in what? Using the finance resources efficiently. Manage. How? By making appropriate financing decision and investment decision. Why? The main objective of finance management is to maximize business related value. Right? Okay. So the definition is done, the objective is done, and the decision, you know the main two decisions. Right? Okay. However, when we talk about the objective, the main objective is what? Maximizing business related value, main objective. To achieve this main objective, you have to achieve some sub objectives, no? Because how can we just maximize the shareholders wealth? We have to focus on 4 objectives. Number 1, you all know, if the owners wealth should increase. If you are doing accounting, obviously if you want to achieve, like, if you want to increase owners wealth, the business should always be able to what, guys? Maximize what? Profit. So 1 is profit maximization, no? Right? If you want to increase owners wealth, you have to increase what, Pute? You have to maximize the profit of the business. But sometimes, when it comes for a company, sometimes certain companies make good profit, but still the owners are not happy. Hey? Profit just the profit is increased on. Owners, the shareholders or the owners will always see how much am I making for my investment. So what do we call that? Increasing the earning per share. No? So earning per share earning per share how much is the net profit, obviously after tax, okay, and they divide by like number of ordinary shares, no? Right, okay. So this should increase, make a value tamai, how the shareholders are happy, right? Okay, so the sub objectives don't memorize right? To increase our equity, the wealth, profit should obviously increase, number 1. Next, earning per share should also increase. Profit should increase as well as the earning per share also should increase, right? And the next thing, what you know, not only that, Pute, sometimes making the owners happy for short term will not help you. You have to make sure you achieve what? Long term financial stability. Long term financial stability means what, you know? It means, guys, okay, you should be able to run the business for a long period. No, simply, guys, you should have a good debt to equity ratio, no? Where bank would loan if you want to attract new investors, if you want to obtain a loan, means you should always make sure you are like managing the risk between what and what, Pute? The equity, I mean the owner's equity as well as the liabilities, or we call it as the debt capital and the equity capital. So long-term financial stability, and you also have enough money for to cover the day-to-day expenses, to purchase stock, to pay your suppliers, to pay the salary, to pay day-to-day utility expenses. Those things are known as Puta. You should have enough amount of working capital, but according to syllabus guide Puta, you have to maintain optimum you have to maintain what would they optimum amount of liquid cash. So that means guys, okay, you have to maintain optimum amount of liquidity. Why is it guys? Okay, you should not have more cash, you should not have less cash, you should have enough amount to cover the day to day. Why not more Puta? Aparadhan, you could have invested in some fixed asset. Why less? You can't cover your day to day expenses. So these four are considered as sub-objectives. While you're going to achieve the main objective, you have to focus on these four objectives. So if I'm a student in this class right now, I'm literally teaching the theory in a very simple way. Hari, number one is what is finance management? It's management, no, it's a process, no. Every management is a process of using the finance resources efficiently by making appropriate investment and financing decision in order to achieve the main objective of maximizing business related value. So now I can say, when to achieve this main objective, we have to focus on four sub objectives. Number one, profit should increase. Number two, earning per share should increase. Number three, maintain optimum level of liquidity. You can say it as number 4 or 3. And also you have to maintain long-term financial stability, right? Okay. And then our main decisions are going to be financing decisions and investing decisions. Can I get a reply? Sir, may venakam mata superior theruna. It's in my head, right? Can I reply, guys? Okay. But then I can see the chat option. Matatta log window bam itana. Is it okay? Someone messages say them to stay in waiting and right, okay. So I'll try to log in. Now I want you all to like, okay, I want you all to go to learncommerce.lk. No need to log in mogut nae. Eke thina puta learncommerce.lk ke thina me CSR free resource kiyala, right? Okay. Right, free resource kiyala thina. And ek then tamai upload une. Hari. So in that guys, okay, I want you all to go and click that. Udimma thinawa මේ PDF set එක තියෙනවා past paper MCQ set එකයි part 2 question set එකයි තියෙනවා including the summarizer එකක් තියෙනවා, right? Okay, so just try to log into that and get that, guys. We'll pause the meeting for a while. හරි ඒක ගන්න. Can I get reply, guys? ඔයගලන්ට ලැබුණාද ගත්තද PDF එක දැන් print කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ, guys. Okay, you can just go through, take a rough paper, ඒකට ලියන්න ඕන අවශ්‍ය දේ ටික එතන ලියන්න. Even the answers PDF එක බලාගෙන you can just write roughly, right? Okay, right. So did you all notice, guys? Okay, first thing in the summarizer ඔයගලන් you don't want to take a printout and write. So in the summarize, I had asked like, okay, what is define the term finance management? I hope you are working at home, right? Okay, guys, so just write down what is finance management in your words. Next one, state the main objective of finance management and state the sub objective. Write down that, guys. Okay, I'll give you all like, okay, I'll also try to log in. All right, no for that. Found it. No. No, maximum capacity. Write down the answers, guys. Okay. हमारा joinment ना होगा अंत Zoom में के. At them, it's okay. Right guys, okay. Harne, Mada replies then I also cannot log into Zoom, right? Because I came as a participant with an admin and I'm in Nisa, right? Okay, so guys, that is the first thing you should know about finance management. Like, okay, first thing you should know about finance management is right? Okay, so everyone in this class know finance management, right? I know the definition, right? And also what is the main objective, one objective, main objective, and what are the sub-objectives? There are 4, right? Okay, main objective means 1, guys, and then what are the 2 financial the decisions, no, right? Okay, now let's talk about the decisions, right? Okay, right, and there is a chart, we did in theory class too, and syllabus guide or any class or even at school, guys, okay, they'll be talking about like the decisions using a flow chart. Okay, so again, some students tend to memorize that chart. It's very simple, guys. Okay, this financial management decisions, okay, main decisions, guys, okay. There are main 2 decisions only. What is it in Sinhala? We say not the appropriate business studies term in Sinhala, right? Apita danna Sinhala, guys. Kohenda salli ganne, koheda salli pavichchi karanna, right? So main 2 decision is, one is investment decision, where I going to use the money, and then other one is going to be what, guys? We call it as financing decision. So investment decision and financing decision. When it comes for investment decision and financing decision, we can classify that into further 2 categories as what? We call it as the short-term decisions and long-term decisions. Make a short-term and long-term decisions. Hurry. Right, okay. And in short term, guys, how to easily remember short term, long term, Maralesi maker. If you are doing accounting, Buddha, you all know many current assets. So say me, what are the main assets? The stock, like decision related to managing the debtors is there, and also like you can write about like cash and any like short term investment, right? Even if you write prepaid expense, no problem. These are all short-term decisions. Long-term decision means it's about like fixed assets, but actually according to your marking scheme, they have given this is due to like, okay, if you are going to like diversify the business, or we can say business promotion, business diversification, business promotion, business diversification, right? Okay, but under promotion karaddi. So normally when I talk about promotion, some of you all know, guys, promotion kila kiyanne in accounting we normally go it as and record it as an expense, no, but promotion kila kiyanne sometimes they invest a lot in promotion. You spend a very huge amount in promotion. Why? That is considered as an investment which would give you, right? So, and also, guys, okay, like business expansion negative, right? Okay. So first of all, guys, okay, we will write these things down. What is it? Don't just write stock, debtors, cash and all. If you see question number 3 according to your Balanda, make it, according to the questions, I have given I have given a chart. Chart can not a flow chart. Columns dila tiyenne. In that, if you all notice, question number 6 again. I have said long term, short term, and long term, short term. Under investing decisions, you can write what decision related to cash management, decision related to debtors, decision related to stock, and decision related to short term investment. And in long term, guys, okay, as I said, write down for promotion, and as well as I said for business diversification. If you are changing the entire business, full replace kala, sometimes your brand name megat venas kala, right? If you are doing that, and also guys, I said you are like you can modify or like expansion modify, and also you can write expansion liandat pulong, right? Okay, so take this, first of all take this down, guys. Okay, that I know you all don't have the printout right now. I'm saying roughly liaganda, right? Okay, they would have given, instead of the word like expansion, modification, I think promotion, diversification, modification, and expansion, whenever they would have given replacement, awulak na mekath liyanna puluwan, replacement, right? So you can go with 5 answers, or if you are going with syllabus guide, promotion, diversification, modification, and replacement. Short term means stock, debtors, cash, and investment, right? When it comes to financing decisions, Buddha, again, financing decisions kila kiyanne. Now, if it is current asset means this should be current liabilities, and long term we have 2 parts, right? Okay, so here short term gattam say you should go with current liabilities, guys. So what are the current liabilities? You all know, like creditors la dannava. Again, any payable expense, and you can like bank overdraft or any like short term loan. So if you are doing accounting, this is easy for you all. Why? This is current liabilities. Short term decisions means current liabilities, creditors, payable expense, and short term loan, right? So complete that, guys. Okay, complete that quickly. First. Right, guys, okay. තාම මට join වෙන්න බෑ guys. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේකට online එකට chat එක බලන්න, because I have to communicate with you all. හරි. So guys, what is it, guys? Investment decision, we have short term, we have long term. Don't mind the handwriting, guys. After a long time මම පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ මැට් විතරයි බැලුවේ මේකේ. හරි. So investment decision, short term, long term. Financing, short term, long term. How to easily remember? Investment decision, it's the current asset, and here it's non-current asset, but we go with the word මම ඔයාලට මතකද මෙහෙමත් කියදුනා MP DER කියලාත් කියදුනානේ, MP minister, parliament minister, and doctor කියලාත් කියදුනා. What is it? Modifying, replacement, diversity and promotion, expansion ලිවත් වැරදි නෑනේ guys. Okay නේ? So like වැරදිලා you can write we are expanding the business, or you can include that as an extra word also, right? So current liabilities gattaham passe short term. Short term means financing decision. Short term means current liabilities. Decision related to creditors. That means don't just write creditors. It's decision related. These are all decisions, right? These are all decisions. Decision related to creditors. Decision related to like any payable expense, accrued expenses. Decision related to short term loan, including bank overdraft, or you can write bank overdraft separately. Long term, guys, okay. Now when it comes to long term, it is one is decision related to dividend. Dividend කියන්නේ මොකද්ද පුතේ? How much are you going to pay for your shareholders? The profit that you're going to pay for the owners, right? And the other one is decision related to capital structure. Decision related to like capital structure, right? Okay. So what is decision related to dividend means? Very simple, no? Now the profit the business makes, or let me say in this way, earning per share, as I said, your earning per share means how much will a shareholder make profit for a share that he had invested, earning per share. But you know, they will not pay the total amount of earning as dividend. No, they will retain certain things and they will pay the rest. Okay, so how much are you going to make, how much are you going to retain? So decision related to retain earnings and decision related to distribution of what, Pute? Distribution of dividend. How much are you going to, actually how much are you going to pay the shareholder and how much are you going to retain, how much are you going to keep it as a reserve, right? So you have to make import. Sometimes if you don't pay the shareholder hefty amount of dividend out of the earning per share, they might be discouraged, right? Okay, so therefore you have to make decisions related to this. And capital structure means, Putha, look, now just because a company has more assets, it doesn't mean it's a rich company. No, the financial position depends on the assets, not only assets, right? Assets and mainly the liability and the equity, the capital structure. So this is decision related to how much of debt capital you are going to maintain and how much of, what is the other one, equity capital, and how much is the, what is the relationship between what, debt to debt and equity. We call it as what, debt to equity decisions. That means how much of debt are you going to keep compared with equity, right? Okay, whether it's going to be like 50% of equity is the amount of debt, or is it equal amount of debt and equity. So this will complete that. Please, Mama Kiyan, don't memorize this. Very simple. Long term means it's dividend decisions and capital structure decisions. Dividend how much profit you are going to keep with you, and this how much of dividend are you going to allocate. Allocate means are you going to pay for the shareholders, and capital structure means how much of debt capital, how much of equity capital, and how much of debt to equity means the relationship between debt and equity capital there, right? Complete that question then, guys. Okay, can I join now? Hold on. Right. No, right?
90,
But it's okay. Right. Right. Eka Tharani, guys, okay. Can I get a reply, guys? You are having the PDF with you all, guys, okay? Make it connect කරන්න බලන්නම්. එක ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා මූණ දෙන්න වෙනවා පොඩ්ඩක් ඉන්න. Right, can you all see? Hari. Right, guys, okay. Right. Can I get a reply, guys? Can you all see the PDF on the screen? Right, can you all see the PDF on the screen, guys? Okay, Right, okay. So everyone are okay with this. What is it? Define the term financial management. Make a hurry, right? State the main objective, maximizing shareholders' wealth, right? Okay. State the 4 sub-objectives. Say it with me. You're at your home. Say it with me. Profit maximization, increasing earning per share, maintaining what optimum level of liquidity, and also maximum or what maintaining or achieving long-term financial stability. State the 2 main instruments in financial planning and control. I did not talk about that yet. Briefly explain the 2 financial decisions related to financial management. It's what decisions? Say it with me without looking at whatever you had written. What are the 2 decisions? It is going to be investment decision and financing decision. So investment decision එක මොනවද වෙන්නේ පුතා? We have the short term decision, we have long term. What comes under short term? Say it with me at your home, right? What comes under short term? All current asset related decisions, decision related to debtors, decision related to stock, decision related to cash, and decision related to any short term investment. Then long term, you can say it's fixed asset, but you can't write that according to the marking scheme. You can remember as what doctor and prime minister, right? Doctor means diversification, R replacement, and prime minister, right? Okay, what is it? P for promotion, M for modification. So you can remember it as what? Long term, I have to become a doctor and as well as conductor නම් පුළුවන් ඩොක්ටර් වෙන්න බෑ accounting කරලා මේ commerce කරලා prime minister පුළුවන් වෙන්න. So remember that way. හරිනේ, doctor, prime minister. Then guys, if you see the financing decision, short term is very easy, but it's current liabilities, decision related to creditors, decision related to any payable or accrued expenses, and decision related to short term loans, as well as according to the scheme you all know, decision related to bank overdraft, which is another short term loan. Long term yaddi, we have decision related to what pute? The capital structure and the dividend, right? Okay, dividend means how much, how much are you going to retain, how much are you going to pay dividend. Easy decisions. Capital structure, how much is going to be a debt capital, how much is going to be equity capital, and what is the relation between those two, right? So I hope you would have completed menna meka karla athine. So you all know, right, whatever I said was done. Okay, can I reply guys? So far so good guys. Okay, say me, right? Reply වල දාන්න මට පේන්නේ නැහැ. I'll be මට මෙතනින් communicate වෙනවා. So I'll say me guys, you all understood? Can you? Yeah. Right, replies දාන්න. thumbs up එකක් හරි දාන්න මේ වෙනකන් ඕකේද කියලා, right? Okay. Right. Right, now you all see guys, okay, මෙන්න මෙතන තියෙනවා the summarizer. State the different source of finance along with its classification, right? Okay, that means sources of finance කියලා කියන්නේ, right? We'll come to the financial planning and controlling part, okay? But before that, what is sources of finance guys? Okay, from where are you going to obtain? No, කොහෙන්ද ඔයාලට සල්ලි ලැබෙන්නේ? Now for example, if it is a public limited company, obviously you all know public limited company because you are this year level students, so you know කොහෙන්ද සල්ලි ගන්නෙ. It could be shares, loan, debentures, or it could be bank overdraft, or it could be selling the fixed assets of the company, or it could be commercial papers, no? So likewise, there are various sources of finance. You as a student, mainly when it comes to your exams guys, okay, MCQ questions තියෙනවා, you have to identify whether it is like short term or long term or internal external or direct indirect, right? Okay, so you all know what is internal means is their own money, right? External means from outside. Short term means simply you can call it as like these are the money market instruments and this is capital market. No, why? Short term and long term is money and capital, right? Then put like based on like method means direct means without involving any intermediary. You don't go through a bank or anything, guys. Kelimma oya thama interfere wenne. Indirect means what, you know, there is an intermediary involved. Okay, so let's write down some sources of finance here. First of all, liyanna puta man kiyannan, you all write down the source of finance and you put a tick puta mehema. Now for example, I'll say like this, guys. Okay, I'll take here bank loan guys. Okay, so normally we have short term loans. I'll take bank loan, long term, internal or external, external, direct or indirect, indirect. Likewise, guys, write down, everyone, write down bank loan. Now you are writing roughly, right? Okay, bank loan, Leander. Shares, ordinary, you all write down shares, right? Next one, you can write issue of debentures, debentures, right? Next one, you can write retained earnings, retained earnings, selling of assets, selling of assets, retained earnings, selling of assets, selling of assets, and also you can write the word factoring. No, you are selling your debtors there. No, you know what is factoring. No, selling debtors for factoring agencies, right? Okay, factoring you can write. Okay, and you can even write commercial papers, commercial papers.
So can you please again explain the long-term investment issue part? Because in past paper market schemes, they use different words. Sometimes they use installment, business improvement, diversification.
I said the same word, no? MP and doctor. Remember I said, no? P about Prime Minister and doctor. Prime Minister P කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? Promotion, right? M කියන්නේ modification, doctor D කියලා කියන්නේ diversification, R කියන්නේ replacement. Okay, I hope that's the same word they use in scheme. Other than that, you can use the word like expansion too, as I said, right? Okay, anything that you spend a huge amount as an investment, very simple, right? Okay, right? Okay. I hope that doubt is clear, right? Okay, right. So guys, now say me, guys, you as a student should be able to, like, first of all, ඕගොල්ලන් හිතලා පුතේ, like now if you see the past papers in the syllabus guide or the theory note of me, you can simply answer this, but it is memorizing. No, you try to mama කිව්ව tick දාන්න පුතා. We'll discuss these things quickly. They are in waiting room still. We'll see next time. I'm gonna make a YouTube but තමයි දාන්න තිබ්බනේ. YouTube එකේ මම I tried to connect ඒක set වුණා නේ. It's lagging. If I connect with YouTube, I just check the video, it's lagging. හරිද? Right, okay. So now I would like if you can answer, guys. Okay, let's see. If you take loan, I answered. Shares is short term or long term? Obviously, Buddha. You know, we studied debt and equity capital, both comes under long term financing. No, so therefore shares, debentures, loan, everything is long term. Hari shares venda puluwan, debentures, everything is long term, right? Okay, when it comes to bank overdraft, you should go with short term. And internal or external, guys. Okay, loan is external, shares is external. Why shares external? It's from it's new shares, guys. Okay, it's not the shares that is already in the share market, that is secondary market. No, the company doesn't make anything out of that. No, guys. Okay, the people, the shareholders who sell their shares, no, guys, make capital gain, not the company. No, guys. Okay, right, the market capitalization would increase, but the thing is, shares is also external, debenture is external, right? Okay, selling your assets, Buddha. Normally they sell their assets, no guys, that is considered as internal, right? Okay, what about guys? Okay, like then. Provision for depreciation, right? What is provision for depreciation? You know, in accounting, provision for depreciation refers to the accumulated depreciation. So how much of depreciation the relevant fixed asset, how much had been depreciated from the date of purchase. No, that is only we call it as provision for depreciation in accounting. So in business studies, guys, like here, we allocate a certain amount separately because our assets have been depreciated. Therefore, in long term, when that asset become obsolete, or if you have to replace the asset, you have allocated a fund. When it depreciates, you have allocated a fund. You can use that fund for emergency purpose. That's why we call provision for depreciation is going to be internal. Even retained earning is already what the business made profit. So retained earning is also internal. Okay, right? Understood that, guys? Whatever I said right now, guys. Understood? I need responses. Still, I cannot log into the chat option. Right, okay. Hare, did they respond? Hare. So guys, okay, next guys, okay, let's go for like, okay, method of obtaining, guys, okay. Then if you like obtain through an intermediary, especially hitana bankuak kela, guys, if you obtain through them, it is going to be what? Indirect source of finance without any intermediary. If it is direct, if you have obtained like without any intermediary, we call it as direct source of finance. So I hope you had marked properly. Shares yanne koida direct or indirect, guys. Shares means for the first time, so it is going to be direct. Debenture, it's going to be direct, guys. Loan, bank loan ne etoda anivareng indirect. Please note, debenture is long term debt equity, sorry, long term, yes, debt capital that you collect, which is going to be direct. But commercial papers kila dina buda. You know what is commercial paper? It is a short term. Commercial paper is a short term. However, commercial papers are like type of like debt instruments issued by highly reputed public limited companies. Why am I saying highly reputed public limited companies? You know, because with like ඒක issue කරන්න security issue, there is no any security that is kept. Only highly reputed companies will issue that because people trust those companies. So it is issued through intermediaries, so it would fall under indirect commercial papers. ඒකත් mark කරගන්න. Commercial paper short term and indirect, obviously it's going to be external, right? Okay, ඒකත් mark කරගන්න. And leasing also, you all know leasing facility, no? It's a method of we finance our asset, no? That is obviously you all know leasing. So leasing also what, guys? Long term, again external, again indirect. Okay, ඒකත් mark කරගන්න. හරි. Selling your fixed asset, okay, you can call it as like direct source of finance. Internal fixed asset, you can short term, long term. Normally we don't classify under those things, but if you want long term under pulluwang, there is no classification. Factoring factoring means what? You're selling your debtors. No, because you're selling your debtors, you can say it is short term. Sometimes it is long term, but short term under pulluwang. So it is like internal and but still external reason is what? So they won't ask those. Confuse and it is done through what putta factoring agent, no guys, okay. So we call we study as marginal supplies, remember, right? Okay, indirect right? Mark guys, okay. And now we'll talk about what? Financial planning and financial control. Okay, now you all see here. Even in management chapter, you all know that planning, organizing, leading, controlling. If you don't plan, you can't control. Reason, what is controlling? මම සිංහලෙන් කියන්නම් මෙහෙම මම දෙමළෙන්ුත් කියන්නම්. Planning කියලා කියන්නේ පුතා කොහොමද කොහෙද කවද්ද කොච්චරක් සල්ලි ඕනේද මොනවාද ඒ සල්ලින් කරන්නේ, all decisions, no? Controlling means what, checking whether everything is going according to the plan, guys. Is it clear? You all know what is meant by controlling. We studied in management chapter, establishing standard, measuring actual performance, comparing the standard with actual performance, checking if there is any deviations. Yes means taking corrective decisions. That is the steps of controlling I just said you all. So likewise, financial planning is all about deciding how much funds is required and how are you going to utilize that. It's decisions, no? You all agree with me? You all agree with me, Buddha? Financial management decisions. Even in your revision class, I said you all know planning the word is decisions. Is it clear, guys? Deciding. Then controlling means what, you are currently actually you are evaluating how are you operating the business, mainly the finance side, compared to the financial planning, Buddha. So for this you need somewhat Pute instruments, no? There are many instruments than what your syllabus guide had said. Your syllabus guide had said what one is budgeting, other one is cash flow statement. In budgeting, it's the cash budget, and in capital budget, in cash flow statement and the cash flow statement, right? However, you had studied, we had learned in accounting, ratio analysis. Last, we just finished the accounting syllabus, one more part and body part, and what is it? Investment appraisal, those, and ratio analysis, even guys, marginal costing, BEP analysis, all those things, but all those things we can fall under what Pute. Those are the tools that are used in what Pute, financial planning and control. But what did your syllabus guide say? Your syllabus guide says financial planning and controlling will use some instruments such as budgeting, cash budget, how much future payments and future receipts. Is it clear? And the other one is capital budget, how much money you need for the investments in fixed asset. And finally, guys, cash flow statement, how much. Now you might think, sir, cash budget and cash flow statement. Cash budget simply says how much cash you think you will receive and you will pay in future. It's a forecast. Cash flow statement, it could be future, it could be a forecast, as well as it could be a past. Actually, how much was the cash flow? And specialty of cash flow statement is what? You record the cash flow statements under 3 categories: operating activities, investment activities, and finance activities. Did you all understand what is financial planning, what is financial controlling, and what are the instruments used for financial planning and controlling? I need a reply. Same guys, okay? Matagia. Mamat metana joinment balanawa. I can see the chat option. No. If you are messaging that everyone option, right? Ek message karamda so that I can see. I am also as a participant in. Hurry. I am going to explain once again what we learned so far, guys. Very simple. Make a theory lazy, right? Okay. I'm going to say, and I hope you are repeating it with me at your home. Number 1, okay, what is it? What is meant by like financial management? Financial management refers to a process of making appropriate investment and financing decisions with related to what the financial resource of the company, with the main objective of achieving, or with the main objective of maximizing business related value or shareholders wealth. Number 1. Number two, guys, okay, what is the main objective? Maximizing business related value. Simple terms, increasing owners' wealth. Number three, sub objectives: profit maximization, increasing the earning per share of shareholders, maintaining optimum amount of liquidity, and number four is achieving or like maintaining or achieving long-term financial stability. Then we studied, guys, okay, what are the main two decisions: long-term decisions and investment decision and financial decision. Under investment, current we had short term, we had long term. What comes under short term investment, Buddha? Short, I said current asset, decision related to debtors, stock. Syllabus guide ke credit debtors dala thena dekadama varadi, don't just follow that. So decision related to debtors, stock, cash, and short term investment. Then long term, I said, but prime minister and doctor. P කියලා කියන්නේ promotion, D කියන්නේ diversification, M කියන්නේ modification, R means replacement. Remember that way, very simple. And then, guys, okay, current, if I take the financing decision, short term means current liabilities, decision related to trade payables, accrued expense or payable expense, short term loan, including bank overdraft, or you can write separately as I said. Then long term, I said, very simple. Long term further classified into decision related to retained earning, decision related to capital structure. Retained earning means how much dividend is the company going to distribute, and how much are they going to keep it as a reserve, keep back, retain, right? And then decision related to what, guys? Capital structure means your capital structure comprises of debt capital and equity capital. Equity capital, if you know accounting, it's very simple. Equity capital means it's what, Putha, it is going to be your stated capital. What is stated capital? You learn in chapter number 4, business organization, how much worth of shares has been issued by the company. And reserves means any other way of like accumulate, increasing the equity. So what comes under reserves for business studies is retained earning. If you are doing accounting, retained earning, general reserve, and revaluation reserve. You all know that, right? And then if I take, guys, okay, decision related to what? Capital structure, debt to equity, decision related to debt capital, equity capital, and debt to equity, done. Then we studied like sources of finance. Yes, we can say direct, indirect source of finance. Same thing we can classify as internal, external, and short term, long term. You should be knowing the classification because MCQs will sure check for that, right? And then I said, what is financial planning? It's all about deciding how much money you want, from where I'm going to get that, how I'm going to use it, right? Then plan controlling means checking whether the current activity is going according to the financial planning. How can you do that? Yes, you have to use some tools, Putha. Then it is budgeting. We had cash budget, we had capital budget, and then we had cash flow statement. Then I said, in addition to that, we have ratio analysis, we have BP analysis, right? Okay, we have investment appraisal techniques such as the payback period, accounting rate of return, like internal rate of return. Like, okay, so there are different techniques, but whatever I said at beginning, whatever said in your syllabus guide. Clear or no, guys? Clear or no? Same thing I said again. Clear or no? Is it lagging? No. Put video එක lag වෙනවද නෑනේ? Use the everyone option to reply me, guys. I am not, you can't send me personal. Use the everyone option, right?
You can check that. Remember Osborne's only.
All right. Right. And now, also, you should know about the advantages and disadvantages of what? Put a short term, long term, internal, external, direct, indirect. Now, for example, I'll just say some examples, guys. Okay, if it is like, okay, internal, what is the advantage? There is no any cost of finance. No, sir. What is cost of finance? Cost of finance means not only interest, Putha. Even if you issue shares, the cost is the dividend that you should pay, no, guys. So anything you have to incur because you obtain the relevant finance. So likewise, there is internal means no, but disadvantage in internal means you can't collect the big amount of putene. You can't collect the big amount. Likewise, you can't memorize karanatwa, go through the notes pute. You have to write the advantages and disadvantages of using each source of finance, right? Okay. We will look into the questions too. Let's go for question number 8. Puta. Make a question number 8 yamu, right? Okay, right. So you all see here, guys. Okay, state 5 factors to be considered when selecting an appropriate source of finance. So what does like source of finance means? From where are you going to get? So you have to decide like before you decide from where, you have to consider like some factors. For example, like how much money you need, no, what is the cost of finance, right? Okay, is there like a lot of the procedure is more, what is the impact on the financial stability? If your business is already guys in high debt capital, it will negatively impact, guys. So your long-term financial stability, does it have an impact on the ownership, guys? Sometimes more shareholders means more kachal, no, guys. Okay, likewise you have to make some consider certain production. So if you see, you can reply me in that. So it will be sent in the WhatsApp channel later. Our video is stuck in on, but the connection is good, right? We'll see, right, Hari? Right. Yes. You all write down the answers. You all can think and write what is it? State 5 factors to be considered when selecting appropriate source of finance. So what you can do? You can write the answers. Write down, guys. Okay, the cost of borrowing, right? Amount which is required. I hope you are writing, right? Amount which is required. Next one, the time period. Now, will you go for a bank overdraft or will you go for long-term loan? Some people say, I cannot pay it fast. I cannot pay it in short time. So I'll go for a bank loan, right? Okay. Next one, terms and conditions. You can write terms and conditions. Then I said impact on the financial stability. Next one, the liquidity of the business. I just said around 5-6, guys. Okay. Take that in, guys. Okay. But right, next one. State 4 examples for state for investing related examples for investing related with working capital requirements and fixed capital requirements. So very simple, fixed capital means it's all about like fixed assets, no? So you can write the same answer like modification, replacement, diversification, or you can write acquiring fixed assets, no, guys, expand in the business, growth of the business, anything. Working capital to cover the day-to-day business expenses, or you can say to purchase stock, to pay for creditors. Those things are going to be, guys, okay, we call it as like working capital requirements. So simply working capital requirements means the amount of money, the money that you need to cover your day-to-day expenses. So in your exam, if they ask you what is meant by gross working capital and what is meant by net working capital, I hope everyone knows that gross working capital means what you know. It is the current asset, guys. Okay, it is the current assets. Net working capital, net working capital means what you know. Like, okay, it is current asset minus current liability. So simply this is used to like check the liquidity level of the business, right? Okay, so working capital means what, you know, how much money it's required for your to continue the business day-to-day operation. If you don't pay your employee salary, if you're unable to settle the rent and the utility bills, if you're unable to like process customer orders on time, guys, okay, if you're unable to pay your suppliers, guys, that means what, guys, okay, you are stuck in working capital. You have a problem with working capital. Fixed capital means, guys, okay, sometimes some people have enough liquid money, but they are not making. I said not to make money out of money. You need money, Buddha. So you have to use the money. You have to use the money and invest in some businesses, invest in shares of another company, or you have to invest in fixed deposit, or you have to expand the business. So those are known as, we call it as fixed capital. So fixed capital means mainly related to non-current asset, right? Okay, take that down also, right? Okay. Now we looked into here what are the factors we should consider when selecting appropriate source of finance. Here, when selecting an appropriate source of investment. When selecting appropriate source of investment. So let's see, guys, okay, then. Investment means always Puta 1 and 2. There is what special answer. Mukadde double R Pute. What is it? You have to consider two things here. Ekak kavilla. Number one, you will cover guys. Make it a salida because you will ask what you know. Kochara the labin, you know. So you will see the reward and the number two is risk Puta. Is it clear? So always when you are going to invest somewhere, these two are like Puta. What is it? Positively related, no? Higher the risk, higher the reward. Now fixed deposit, risk is low, reward is also low, no, guys, okay? If you take share market, high risk, high reward. You will get a higher reward. Capital gain and all very higher than fixed deposit return. But at the same time, you might be able to make a big loss also. Higher the risk, higher the reward. So write down 5 factors what you consider before investing, guys, okay? Number 1 is you can write the reward of the investment or the benefit. Number 2, write down risk of the investment. Number 3, how much, no, amount of the investment. Right. Number 4, you can say maturity period of the investment. Write down, guys, write down. I hope you are working, right? You're not just listening to me only, right? Okay. Kola kalla karam vede karna diya. Today, make a look. So I make a prepared with other parliament. In parliament, they discuss, but you know, cryptocurrency is illegal. They said it is not illegal. Sorry, it's not a legal tender. Q1 other today. So this is not yesterday or day first day. Other make other one there. So they said cryptocurrency not a legal tender. However, capital gain you make out of that is taxable income. A legal tender have taxable income. So legal side also we check. No, now guys, most of the people in Sri Lanka like you, they are easily get caught to scams of what you know. One is this cryptocurrency trading. The other one is plantation sector investment. They come and they advertise and say, we are going to give you this much money. After some time they lose. And you know, when they lose the money, those people who are like involved in that fraud, they have a very simple excuse. Yes, it was a loss. Higher the risk, higher the reward. You wanted higher reward and you should know there was a higher risk there. Likewise, no one can guarantee we will pay you this much. Right? So you have to see the legal form or the legal titli. So you wrote the risk reward amount, time period, okay, as well as what? As well as I said all the legal formula right? Okay. So let's move on to the next question. Right? If you consider Sri Lanka right now, not only Sri Lanka, right? If you consider, you know, Pissune gelinne Donald Trump Irani agreement sign karna, gaha ganno, aaya karna. This is not a good day, good not day, like good 3-4 months, it's very bad for what for the stock market. You have to see political factors, we call it as environmental factors, right? So again, you just start thinking, guys, what are the factors you should consider factors that would consider before you choosing a proper investment source, guys. What will you write with it? Risk, reward, amount, maturity time period, legality, terms and conditions also you can write, guys, okay, as well as other environmental factors. Complete that, guys, and give me a reply, guys. My reply at the end of yeah, okay, understood. Yes, I'm checking your replies. इतना मटा count अब याद लाती ना ने. Right, okay. Again, I'm saying, guys, if anyone is watching this recording, I started the session at 6:15. Hari, mati mama danne ara lamai කොහොමත් 120ක් විතරනේ රිවිෂන් එකනේ හිටියේ. මම හිතුවා ඉතින් ඒකෙන් ඉතින් 100ක් විතර එයි කියලා. හැබැයි මෙතන outsiders did not ඇති සමහර කට්ටිය මම දන්නේ. හරි. I'll provide the recording, right? Okay. The thing is, I wanted to go with YouTube also. However, ඒක stuck වෙනවා පුතා. හරි. Right. So guys, now let's move on to something else. Hari? Right. අපි යමු මෙතනට. මේ Right, okay. Now I don't want to teach everyone regarding this puta. Why is it? Because you all do remember we studied this in theory as well as in revision in chapter number 7. What is it? The financial system. No, we studied, financial system. So you know very well, financial system comprises of what, Pute? What? 5 elements. No, this is very easy for you all. Make it very, very easy. I'm especially saying, guys, okay, I did not say to memorize this, right? We understood this perfectly. Your syllabus guide had said this is what Central Bank of Sri Lanka, but if you do remember, I said this is what regulating bodies. We have regulating bodies. So in that Puta, we have the Central Bank of Sri Lanka regulating many financial institutions, and you all know insurance board is also there, and you all know about the stockbrokers and the share market. We have what Puta? The Security Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka. No? CBSL, IBSL, SCCSL. No? So however, in your syllabus guide, Buddha, in your syllabus guide, they have straight away given here CBSL. And then Buddha, like, we have, this is very simple. So they regulate what Buddha? Me katti monada regulate karanne? They regulate financial institutions. Financial institutions. Financial institutions, and these financial institutions, you all know, according to CBSL annual report, all classifications තමයි තාමත් යන්නේ අපි. It is what the banking sector, other deposit accepting institutions, specialized financial institutions, and contractual savings institution. No, banking sector, other deposit taking accepting institutions, specialized financial institutions, and we can call it as what, guys? Contractual saving institutions. Then what do they issue, and they actually involve in the financial transaction? No, they issue and they borrow. No, so we call it as what, financial instruments. They transact financial instruments. Example: shares, debentures, treasury bills, treasury bonds, those things, right? Commercial papers, right? Okay. Next one, guys, we have financial. Where do they transact? Financial market, right? Okay, so financial market means where are they transacting? It need not to be a physical location, you all know that, right? Now share market, we never go to a physical place, no guys, like those days. So this has further classification. 14 seconds back to home. Cancel countdown. Cut the moment. Right, okay. Right, so financial market we have based on the time period: primary market, secondary market. No, we have based on the type of instruments: debt market or equity market. Likewise, we can classify the financial market too also, right? And to involve in these transactions perfectly, Buddha, you know, there is what, Buddha, there is financial infrastructure. What are the main things you should know, guys? Okay, you should know what is meant by SEFT, what is meant by Sri Lanka interbank payment system, what is real-time gross settlement system, what is meant by SWIFT. Okay, and you all know RTGS and SSDS. Together we call it as Lanka settle. Why am I just doing it fast? You know, doing it fast. Already we studied this. Chapter number 7 right? Only thing that you did not learn in chapter number 7 is, you know, the financial instruments and the financial market. So we will be focusing on these two. I had completed in your theory, but still again a recap here. Help. So financial system, regulating bodies: CBSL, Insurance Board of Sri Lanka, Security Exchange Commission. Financial institution, even I can go on saying, under banking sector, we have the CBSL, we have the licensed commercial banks, we have the licensed specialized banks. Other deposit accepting institutions, licensed finance companies there, as well as we have the cooperative rural bank, we have the thrift and credit cooperative society. Under what, guys? Okay, specialized financial institutions, we have the primary dealers, we have the share brokers, we have the unit trust holders, and we have venture capital companies, we have market intermediaries. Contractual saving institutions, we have insurance companies, as well as you have all those fund management companies: EPF, ETF fund, pension fund, private approval funds, those things, right? Okay, then what is new? Let's talk about the instruments and the market. And this is also not new, Buddha. I think this time provincial paper also had certain question regarding this infrastructure, right? Take that down, guys, if you see the next question, Ban. Right, Buddha, okay. So you would have written here, I'll repeat again, regulating bodies, right? Under regulating bodies, guys, we have CBSL, we have IBSL, Insurance Board of Sri Lanka, and we have SCCSL, Security Exchange Commission of Sri Lanka, right? And then under financial institutions, we have the banking sector. In this, we have Central Bank of Sri Lanka again, yes. They are the regulating bodies, as well as they also involve in like some financial activities. So next one we have, guys, because econ karala main hundred danno, right? Okay, like now licensed commercial banks involved in credit creation, central bank regulations, right? Okay, we have the licensed commercial bank, licensed specialized banks, right? We have the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, licensed commercial banks, licensed specialized banks, right? Okay. And then we have what, guys? Okay, other deposit accepting institutions, licensed finance companies, we have cooperative rural banks, and also we call Sanasane, thrift and credit cooperative societies, and Buddha, we have like specialized financial Buddha, they are specifically into a certain activity, such as what? Look, primary dealers, they are the ones who involve in buying and selling treasury bills and bonds, right? They go for those auctions and they first of all buy primary. That's why, Buddha, like, okay, there is something called primary market and secondary market too. Now, when you buy shares means in share market, it is secondary market. However, initial public, the first time when they offer shares, they won't offer shares through what with a share market. You have to apply. That is, we call it as like with a primary market, right? After that, in share market, when you are buying secondary, so the word primary means initial. Primary, who would deal with treasury, central bank with the primary dealers, right? Okay. Then what do we have, guys? We have like share brokers specific, no, and we have like even like you can write the leasing establishments. Now actually there is no leasing because finance companies only does everything, so according to syllabus guide, leasing establishment. Other than that, we have like marginal suppliers line, no, marginal suppliers line, no, right? Sorry, market intermediaries. In that, you all know we have underwriters, marginal suppliers, which is known as, they involve in factoring service, fund managers are there, and then we call unit trust holders. You know what is unit trust holders, no guys? Okay, unit trust holders, they are like the company that actually collects money from the public and invest in a portfolio. Instead of investing in one type of investment, they go for diversified investment. So they do that with the help of fund management companies. So if they ask you who are the parties connected to unit trust, guys, okay, it's unit trust holders, the investors, the unit trustee, which means the unit trust management company, and the fund management companies. I hope you are clear. And then we have venture capital companies who would mainly what would they help new businesses, entrepreneurs, like providing them like business proposals, mainly guys, okay, financing for new establishments, for new entrepreneurs, right? And then we have guys contractual saving institutions, which means insurance company. They go into a contract with the customer. Insurance company, EPF, ETF, fund managing, pension fund, EPF fund, ETF, those things you can write. Now let's go for the market, right? Okay, even though I said what market with the primary, secondary market, debt market, equity market, we mainly focus on short term and long term. So short term market is money market, long term market we call it as capital market. Okay, so we have short term market, money market, long term market, capital market. So what comes under like, okay, money market guys, okay, all those short term instruments come, right? So you would have written there, we have the treasury bill market, internal call money market, internal foreign exchange market, and we have the commercial paper market. Write down that guys, okay. Under money market, we have treasury bill market, we have the internal foreign exchange market, interbank call money market. Interbank call money market when a bank faces liquidity problems, they would try to obtain cash from other banks. 1 day, 2 day transactions, not 1 month only. That is 1 day, 2 day transactions, sometimes only 1 day. And also we have commercial paper market is also commercial paper, short term, no, so you can write under money market. Capital market, but obviously you all know the debenture market is there, or debt market, or we can say debenture market. And next one we have the share market, okay. And also you can write treasury bond market. You all know what is treasury bond, no, guys, okay. Treasury bill is short term instrument issued by the government, treasury bond is long term. Complete that. Any doubts, please let me know, right? Okay. In theory, now we are revising. I hope if you have downloaded the PDF with the papers, right. Next, let's talk about what Buddha. The instruments. I went in the market, I said instruments first of all. I draw instruments. So instruments is very easy, guys. Short term instruments, long term. Make I same short term instruments. So what is short term instruments here, guys? Okay. Right, treasury bills liyanda puta, commercial papers liyanda, treasury bills, commercial papers liyanda. For capital market, you all write what putte? Shares liyanda, ordinary share, preference shares, both. Write down debenture. For treasury, for short term instruments, you can write commercial papers again, right? Any doubts, you all let me know. lagging look lag is video lagging puta lag varandu OBS network go for straight away zoom without OBS OBS you are recording no
So checking that.
yeah video is lag වෙනවා නේ for some it's not lagging audio ගාම පස්සම වීඩියෝ කියන්නේ ඔබට ස්ලෝ මෝෂන් දාන්න වෙන එක තමයි හරි Right guys, okay, now again according to we'll do like this නේ පුළන්නේ let's continue මම කොහොම හරි මම බැලුවා මේම හොඳයි නම් තව දවසකුත් දාන්න එක අවුලක් නැහැ ඉතින් හරි දවස් හදන්න හැබැයි මම මගේ විදියට කරන්නම් ඉතින් හරි මේ iPad එක දාන්න but guys if it is good like up here mama Wednesdays however you all did a full paper that day which was the support exam paper this Wednesday also will be having a full paper part 1 part 2 final paper එකක් වගේ තියෙනවා හොඳ paper එකක් තියෙනවා right okay you all have to write that paper also right but online students physical ඇවිල්ලා ලියන්න පුතා it will be marked and graded and given ඒ හන්දා ලියන්න we will arrange some night sessions මේ මම දන්නවා there are other two subjects accounting ගොඩක් කට්ටිය මං ගාව ඉන්න නිසා අනිත් subject focus කරන්න right can I get like so far it's like productive ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙනවද because online මම සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දන්නවනේ මෙහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ මම IMS එකමනේ කරන්නේ online එක guys is it okay? Shall I continue, guys? Shall we continue this way?
This is better.
yeah, මට නම් ඇත්තට සුපිරි ඇයිදනවද? කියන්න නෑනේ බං මේ නැත්තම් හැමලේම ඔය boys ඔය girls ගන්න ඕනේ guys. අද නෑ හරි? Right, okay. Right guys, okay. Now let me say you all the classifications of what guys? Financial market. Based on time period, I will say you all write down. Based on time period, puta, it is short term, long term. Kiyanne monada kiyanne? We say money market and we say capital market. Write down. Well, I'm saying. So based on time period, we don't say short term, long term market. We say short term, long term instruments and instruments. Market, we say money market, capital market. So this is based on time period. Next one, guys. Okay, I want to write down. Right. Right. You'll say based on sources and everyone according to nature and according to nature, guys. According to nature. So nature කියලා කියමු පස්සේ because MCQs I am saying MCQs වල පැටලේ according to nature you are right debt or equity guys nature කියලා කියන්නේ it's clear හරි voice is clear video is lagging අවුලක් නැහැ listen to me guys හරි according to nature debt and equity and hari next one according to origin puta origin කියලා කියන්නේ කොහෙන්ද but is it original නැත්නම් secondary so we don't say original නේ guys what is it then now I am saying you all මේ බලන්නකො මෙහෙම සිද්ධියක් මට ආරංචි වුණා so it's not I am not the person who actually gives the information initially මම තමයි secondary so based on origin whether it is primary or secondary easy to remember right don't need to memorize right so write down guys okay primary secondary is based on origin nature debt and equity right? And based on time period, we can write, don't write short term, long term, right? Money market and capital market. Hari. Right. Right. Next one, guys, okay. You all should know the subcategories of the market. I just said you all the same thing here. What comes under money market, what comes under capital market. Let's go for financial infrastructure, guys. Write down the main infrastructure. I hope you had written. Just write down again. You should know SLIPS, Sri Lanka Interbank Payment System, right? Okay. And you should know RTGS, real-time gross settlement. High valued amounts are transferred between domestic banks. SWIFT, Society of Worldwide International Financial Telecommunication, right? Okay. Next one, guys, you should know like SSDS, Scriptless Security Depository System. Next one, guys, okay, like something called FTS also you all write down, Fund Transfer System, right? DTS, Debt Trading System, but whatever the initial first five only, most important. Also, they might ask you like what is LCPL, Lanka Clear Private Limited company, which is jointly owned by commercial banks and central bank, and they mainly involve in what pute clearing activities, right? That means checks and drafts that should be cleared between the banks are there, no guys, okay. Balance karla, end of the period they inform the bank regarding the net balances, they update the banks. It is done by Lanka Clear Private Limited, LCPL, jointly a company jointly owned by commercial banks and Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Right? And you should know about the Lanka QR, no? Now digital currency payments, they might test you all, right? Okay, they will ask you about the digital currencies now. And recently PayPal was given approval, no? There were no PayPal that we did not have approval, no, that e-wallets and all, guys. Google Pay is working with commercial banks. Wait, hurry, right? Right, Buddha. Okay, so let's go for the next one here. Right, okay, you all know this, ne? I don't think I have to explain much. Define Colombo Stock Exchange, CSC, SEC, Security Exchange Commission, CDS, Central Depository System. So actually, guys, okay, Colombo Stock Exchange is the secondary market, no, the share market where investors buy and sell shares, right? Okay, so you should open an account. That account is maintained in the system known as Central Depository System, right? Okay, every shareholder should have a CDS account. If you ask from me one shareholder, one account, no, Puta, like you can have multiple accounts, right? However, same NIC, they will give more than 1-2 accounts. You can have it. Some people have some accounts too for long-term investment. Even I have 2 accounts. One is for long-term investment. Other one is for day trading. So likewise, CDS SEC, Security Exchange Commission, they are the ones who would regulate even the share brokers. Right, may share brokers activities, they see if someone is trying to manipulate the share market, they will take action because they are regulating bodies. Remember SEC, SL I said, right? Then you should know Colombo Stock Exchange, Security Exchange Commission and CDS, right? And state 3 methods in which a company can be listed in share market. So I think this I gave you last Wednesday the 2026 supportive exam paper, right? Okay, we are almost everyone wrote answers for that. However, guys, okay, there was the same question, but before that paper, I said you all, not on the day. Before that, 2 weeks back, I said you all, when I discussed with you all, I asked what are the 3 main companies that could be registered under Company Act number 7 of 2007. Answer was limited companies, unlimited companies, and limited by guarantee. So limited by shares, limited by guarantee, unlimited companies, right? So here, under limited by shares, you all know there is what with a private, public. Under public, we have listed, unlisted. So listed ki lagi yanne buta public limited companies which are registered in the what puthe Colombo Stock Exchange. Understood now? Right, Mamika? So you all know this goes back to chapter 4 where we have limited companies, no? We have unlimited companies and we have companies limited by guarantee. So limited companies can shares value. Here we have puthe. So these are the main three types of companies which could be incorporated in Sri Lanka according to Company Act number 7 of 2007. So limited companies, we have private limited and we have public limited. So public limited all the public limited companies cannot issue shares to the general public. When we study chapter 4, we study public limited companies can issue shares to general public. We study like that in chapter 4. But here only you all know in this we have listed and we have unlisted. So if it is unlisted, you can't issue shares to the general public. Why? Because general public to buy shares puta, they should involve in share market. No. So listed means here they are saying how can you be listed puta. Normally you all know if you are listed, your name will be in the two boards. One is main board, other one is the secondary board. Dirisavi board kiyanne. Secondary or Dirisavi board. So for this you have criterias, no? But here the question is how can you be listed? Number one is guys, okay, right? Number one, you all right, okay, what is it? Through offer for sale, we have offer for sale. Write down guys, people who knows that guys, okay, write down. How can you list? How can you list a company in the share market, right? Okay. So offer for sale, ultimately you all know that first time you are going to issue shares. What was it guys? Okay, we know, we studied no IPO, initial public offering, right? Okay, initial public offering. I'll explain all three. Write down initial public offering. Anithika, you all write down offer for sale. Next one, through an introduction. Through an introduction. So what is it? Initial public offering, offer for sale, and through an what puthe? Introduction. Hurry. Right. So let's talk about the main board and the Dirisavi board guys, okay. As I said you all, we have two boards. One is the main board, other one is Tavatina watch list board. Default board, if you do not fulfill certain conditions let down, you will be listed as default. So invest sometimes if you when it is like okay, if you still didn't do, if you all did not do the relevant corrections means a temporary hold karna. You can't trade shares of that company, right? I think Hella company Hella Incorporation they will I think like in that watch list, they are in the watch list boss. You check in the internet buddha hold karla thine trading zema, right? Okay, because they haven't submitted the reports on time and also the company is making continuous loss or something. Their net asset value is negative, hurry, right? So guys, say me what are three methods we can list a company in a share market. Which company? Listed public companies, public limited companies. So the companies whose names end up in PLC kila thamai kiyanne, they are what? Listed companies. Unlisted company name will end as just limited only, right? Okay. So what are three methods? Number one is initial public offering. Next one through an introduction. And through offer for sale, right? Okay. Initial public offering means first time they were private limited or they were unlisted company, they are going to go public. Initially public, we are offering shares to the public. Public can apply and we call minimum subscription, all we studied guys, okay. Likewise. And then offer for sale means the existing shareholders, it will be like guys, okay, unlisted company, they are saying the existing shareholders, you can now transact, you can sell your shares, you can buy shares in the share market you can sell your shares of our company. Before this you are unable to, now offer for sale. And next one through introduction means straight away guys, okay, they will be listed. So to be listed there are two boards, main board and Dirisavi board Puta. There are criteria to be in the main and the Dirisavi board guys, okay, right? Right, complete that and go for the next page Puta. What's the time? 10. Hurry. Right. State the criteria need to be fulfilled by public limited company to be listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange. So, guys, if you have taken a printout now, you can use this. Roughly under main board and the secondary board. Dirisavi secondary board. Okay, write down with the main board and secondary. Now we say Dirisavi board. Write down, guys. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with the theory recording, right? Okay, go with the theory recording. Focus on the important points only. I'm just revising the thing. Actually, I'm repeating the entire theory again, but it's good to recap, right? Okay. Brand or student connect mukut madana mage tamai hamotam access dunne finance management chapter, right? Okay, I gave access. Right, okay, I said to know group 1 funds how you have completed 2 lamainder said no her payment again. I give access, but we have completed HR management plan info come right guys, then get ready for that Wednesday paper, right? Okay guys, main board minimum the amount of share issued should be 500 million. Write down share issue 500 million 500 million or 50 million කියන්නේ කෝටි 5යි 500 million කෝටි 50ක්වත්, like there was this one. Here it is 100 million, right? I think in the your syllabus guide this is 10 or something, it is wrong. Yeah, it should be 100. And now they are issued na puta 25% of the shares should be with the public. ඒ මොකද පුතේ? ඒ කියන්නේ share market එකේ circulate වෙන්න ඕනේ 25% එක public එකේ තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හරි? Because the directors would have some shares. හරි? No, the directors would be having certain shares එහෙම තියෙනවා. Right? 25% ඇවිල්ලා circulate වෙන්න ඕනේ. Here 10% should be held by the public. And here Puta, continuously 3 years you should have made profit. Continuously 3 years profit තියෙන්න. Here, right, at least guys, okay, 1 year of operation and they should have audited reports, right? Okay, those are the main 3 differences. Check your theory note. I had given another 2 if I am correct, right? Okay, so main thing 500 million share investment should be they are issued, and here 100 million, here 25% should be held by the general public, here 10%, 3 years continuously profit tiendone, here 1 year should be business as well as audited report at tiendone, right? Okay, so those are the that means minimum the company should be active for 1 year, right? Okay, that means right after you start incorporate a company you can't go and get the be listed puta, right? It will take time, right? Then what is meant by puta monada me eka liya ganne bro, let's complete that. Right. You all know Buddha what is meant by like watch list board. Hamo Buddha no watch list board kyanne mokadda kiyala, right? Okay. Or we call the default board kino, right? Okay. If a certain company in the main Dirisavi board does not like follow the regulations, or they do not comply with whatever the company registrar had said, Puta, after they have been listed, then Puta, they will be put in a temporary period in the default board until they do the relevant corrections, right? Okay, that is known as watch list board. Hari ekat liyagan, right? Okay. Right. Then guys, like direct and indirect benefits for investors through investing Colombo stock market, right? Okay. So direct benefit, you all know you can buy and sell the shares and all know. So you all write down, we have capital gain tinawa. Write down capital gain. And you all know you get profit for the shares, dividend income, and also you get free shares bonus, and then you get you can purchase shares at a lower price, right issue. Write down dividend income, capital gain, right? Dividend, capital gain, free shares, bonus shares, and right issue. Other than that, guys, indirectly, if you purchase ordinary shares, means you can, if you purchase ordinary shares, Puta, what you can do is ordinary shares gattana, what you all can do is, what you know, may vote. You have the voting power. You have the voting power. Write down voting power තියෙනවා. Power. Yes, right issue is this. May did I say right issue? Yes, no. I said right issue as direct, no? Yes. And voting power under. And then you can write they can be appointed as directors, and they are able to enjoy net asset during the company's liquidation. When the company closes down, in case it's a loss means labenne, and there is profit means that will be distributed among what the shareholders know. So they will be able to enjoy the company's asset during liquidation. After settling all the liabilities, whatever the asset they can enjoy. Hari, ekatti under. Right, before we move on to the ratios, Buddha, අපි යමු මෙන්න මේකට යන්න. Before you all, do you all have this set also, no? Do you all have this, Buddha? මේක තියෙනවද ඔයගොල්ලන්? Give me a reply. Do you all have this in that PDF? තියෙනවද? Give me a reply, guys. What? Waiting එක තාම කට්ටින්න. Right, okay. So guys, this is regarding a ratio question. So you can answer that, but still guys, okay, you all know liquid ratios. Can you all answer me the second one here? You all can take that. Second, third, fifth one, guys. Right, okay. Financial market. But look at the second one, look at the third one, look at the fifth. Why am I skipping the 4 and 1? Ratio and this I did not discuss right now, right? And you can also answer the sixth one also, guys. Is it clear? Clear, no? So you all can see the screen. If not, you all have the PDF I had provided, right? සමහරවිට physical is better කියලාත් දාලා තියෙනවානේ. Can do till morning ද මෙහෙම. හරි. The only thing happiness මම කෑ ගහන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. හැබැයි සතුට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ දුකයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මූණ පේන්නේ නැහැ නේ guys ඔගේ. මම නිකන් තනියමයි කැමරා එකට කතා කරනවා. ෆරාන්ඩ් සපෝට් එකේ ඉන්නවද මෙහෙ එතන? Right. Right. I hope you all answered, guys. Out of the following, which is not included in the category of specialized or unit trust, specialized finance, venture capital, specialized finance, insurance companies, puta insurance companies avilla. What are those guys? Anyone? Insurance companies are contractual saving institutions. So uttare mokadda fifth one. So all other four, what is missing there? The stockbrokers, the share, primary dealers is there, unit trust, venture capital, market intermediaries also, like marginal suppliers, fund managers also. We call it as specialized financial. Payment for suppliers of a cash flow statement is considered as I gave you that question because I just talked about that, guys. Okay, I said no. Cash flow statement records the inflows and outflows. It could be estimated or actual under three headings. What is it? Operating activities, day-to-day operating activities. Investment activities means everything about fixed assets or non-current assets, receiving and paying money. And financing activities. Financing means from where you obtain finance. It could be loans, it could be like issuing shares, debentures, things. So here, payment of suppliers is a normal day-to-day operating activity. So we call it as operating activity. Fixed asset means investment activity, right? Okay. And then Central Deposit System Private Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Colombo. Right, okay. Did anyone answer this question, guys? Okay, 3B. Central Deposit System Private Limited is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Colombo Stock Exchange. So CDS කියලා කියන්නේ අර account එක maintain කරන එක, right? Okay, so it is a subsidiary means what you know. Now Colombo Stock Exchange is a company limited by guarantee. හොඳට අහගන්න. So this is known as the parent company. So මෙයා parent company නම් his මෙයාගේ යටතේ ඉන්නේ පුතා under the parent's control means we call it as a subsidiary company. Take that down, guys. Okay, so what is the subsidiary of the Colombo Stock Exchange? Write down CDS Private Limited. I would like to know CSC is what type of company, guys, if they ask you. Anyone? CSC is what type of company? Anyone? Anyone? CSC is a what type of company? We studied in chapter 4. I'm going to check your answer. මට reply කරන්න නැහැ නේද? CSC is what type of company, guys? Very good. Guaranteed Limited. Hari me මට එක්කෙනෙක් තමයි reply කරේ. You all are replying privately නේ බං. ඒකනේ මට මෙහෙම බලන්න. So CSC is guaranteed, company limited by guarantee, and then its subsidiaries who the Colombo Central Depository. So what does Central Deposit System actually do? Maintaining the accounts of shareholders, and what they do? මෙහෙ ඉඳන් එහෙට සල්ලි එහෙ ඉඳන් buying and selling. So Lanka Clear Private Limited, a company which is owned by Central Bank and Commercial Bank, did the clearing activities of whom, puta? Clearing activities of the banks. Here, buying and selling shares. So we call here, puta, clearing house, and they are acting as an intermediary, like a broker, no? So market intermediary, right now, puta? Market intermediary and clearing house. This one is easy, following are several types of financial markets, puta. So in financial market we have interbank call money market, short term or long term? short term, the market between commercial banks to settle their liquidity issues. Commercial paper market, I even talked about commercial paper. Share market, okay, long term, commercial paper short term, corporate bond. Some of you might think so, corporate bond. Samaning debentures puta is issued without any like securities. With securities if issue means simply debentures tamai corporate bond kila ganda. Foreign exchange market again short term, treasury bond long term. They are asking capital market only puta. So when it comes to capital market, puta, you have to go with long term. What is it? We have share market, we have corporate bond market, we have treasury bond market. Answer is BEF. Answer is third one. Next question. Even the seventh one. While a fixed rate of blank is payable for debentures. So, for debentures, do they pay dividend? No. For debentures, they pay what? Interest, fixed amount, not variable. Varied rate of ordinary shares, they don't pay interest. They pay what? They pay dividend. Okay, so interest is paid for debentures, it is fixed. Even preference share, they pay fixed. Dividend, preference share also fixed, debenture also fixed. Preference share, they pay dividend. Ordinary share, debentures, they pay fixed interest. Ordinary shares, varied means variable. More profit, more dividend. Less profit, less dividend. No profit means no dividend. Loss means no dividend. Don't think they will minus from your this one. They will ask you money. No profit means no dividend. Complete the following table with respect to financing sources used by publicly. Easy. External shares, debentures, loan, right? Okay. Commercial papers, but right, shares and debentures, loans. Internal source, easy. Retained earning, provision for depreciation, selling of fixed asset. Those things are internal. I hope you all understood. Hari, put a break. Answer for 3B. Huh? Answer for 3B. Answer for 3B. Answer for 3B. 3B. Central Deposit System is wholly owned subsidiary of the Colombo Stock Exchange, which functions as market intermediary and a clearing house. They clear, settle transactions between buying and selling of shares, right? Okay, clearing house and market intermediary. Shall we take a small break, guys? Okay, come the break. Can you repeat some internal sources? Write down internal sources if you all need, guys. Okay, internal sources. Selling of assets. Selling of assets under internal source. Provision for depreciation, Leander. Provision for depreciation, internal source. I'm just replying a question, right? Okay. Selling of assets. Provision for depreciation, retained earning. Retained earning. Selling of investments, that's also an asset only, selling of investments. Using reserves, again like retained earning, using reserves. Even you can write delaying the payment to creditors, because you're asking, I'm saying delaying the payment to, you can delay the payment to creditors and use that money. No, that's why delaying the payment to creditors, you can use it as internal source of finance. Any doubts? Any doubts? Hari. Vision statement. Yes. Can you briefly explain Diria current and the Diria board, right? Okay. Diri Saviya board, right? Okay. You need external too. External you can write no shares, commercial papers, debentures, loans, leasing, bank overdraft, right? All those are external, guys. Okay, right? Okay.
Answer for question 1.
Question 1 I didn't discuss, Buddha. It is actually, I can say the answer actually. It's a ratio question, right? So I'll teach you all the ratios part, right? Hari Buddha, poti break ya gamu ekata kalling api mehema deyak karamu aya, right? Okay, everyone focus. What did we learn so far in finance management? Math ekkama kiyamu, hari? Right? Yeah. If I am also going to do, ඒ කියන්නේ පුතේ අපිට Wednesday කරේ නැතුවට අපිට at least we can do online එකේ මට ඕන නම් මෙහෙම help කරන්නත් පුළුවන් ඈ. මම හැබැයි මට වාඩි වෙලා කරන එක තමයි හොඳයි කියලා හිතෙනවා. අද මෙහෙම කරමු අවුලන්නේ. හරි. මේක ගලවමුනේ. Right, okay. So I'll see here. Financial management, right? Okay, this is your chapter 50. So around for 2 hours I was explaining, shouting explaining. So Buddha, you all studied what is the definition of financial management. Now when I say definition, you should be knowing what's the definition. It's not memorizing. Then Buddha, you studied like what are the objectives of financial management. In that objectives, you all know main objective, one objective only. There is main objective and you have sub objectives. There are 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? And then you know, guys, okay, very important heading. What is it? Financial management decisions. No, financial management decisions. So in this financial management decisions, you all know very well, you have to make 2 decisions. One is investment decisions, investment, and the other one is financing decisions, right? In investment decisions, you all know you have short term and you have long term. Financing decisions, you all have short term. Long term, you all know in financing, we have decision related to retained earnings and decision related to capital structure. Capital structure, right? And then Buddha, what did we learn? Right, we studied something known as what, Buddha? Instruments, not instruments, we'll go with like, what did we learn? We studied what is meant by financial planning and financial controlling, no? Financial planning and controlling. This financial planning and controlling is done using some instruments. So I said you all there are many instruments. However, according to your syllabus guide, we have what? Budgeting and cash flow statement. Budgeting, we have cash budget and we have capital budget, right? Okay. Other than this, I said about ratio analysis, investment appraisal methods like such as break even, net present value method, internal return of rate method. Like there are, right, many methods, right? However, this is what mentioned. So you should also know the definition of financial planning and financial controlling, right? Okay. And then we studied, guys, okay, a business needs money. No, they need finance. For what purpose? There is something known as working capital requirement and fixed capital. Can't even write down. Fixed capital requirement. And Buddha, you should know examples of working capital requirement and you should know examples of why they need fixed capital. So before we move further, financial management is the process of using the finance resources efficiently by making appropriate investment and financing decisions in order to achieve the main objective of maximizing business related value, maximizing owner's wealth or maximizing business related value, right? Okay. And then we studied there are sub objectives: profit maximization, increasing the earning per share, maintaining liquidity at optimum level, and then I said you all achieving long-term financial stability. Then I said you all financial management decisions with the investment decisions, short-term, remember current assets, stock, don't just write stock, decision related to stock. That means how much stocks you're going to maintain. Are you going to hold the stocks? Is it going to be like just-in-time method you're going to follow, right? If the stocks are easily available, you can use operation management notes. So short-term stock, debtors, cash, short-term investment. Long-term, remember, Prime Minister and doctor. Promotion, modification, diversification, replacement, easy, right? Okay. Short term means current liability, creditors, payable expense, and any short term loans, bank overdrafts, right? Long term, I said retained earning means how much you are going to retain, keep back the dividend, or decision related to dividend. No, decision related to dividend. In that, one is retained earning, other one is what how much you are going to distribute as dividend. So dividend level. Then capital structure means how much is debt capital, how much is equity capital, what is debt to equity ratio there, right? Okay. So once this was done, we studied what are the factors that should be considered when selecting a source of finance and source of investment. Do not forget source of investment, I said the two R's, risk and reward, number 1 and 2 always, right? So other than that, I said the legal factors, the time period, even for financing, what are the factors, guys? Okay, how much you need, the time period of repayment, cost of financing, right? Okay, terms and conditions, the impact on the management, impact on the liquidity, impact on the financial stability, all those things. And then we studied, guys, okay. Once we completed this, right, we focused on the heading of financial system. No, the financial system comprises of 5 interconnected elements, which means regulating regulating bodies, and also what else, guys? Okay, the financial institutions, financial instruments, financial market, financial infrastructure. Regulating bodies, CBSL, SECSL, Securities and Commission, and Insurance Board of Sri Lanka. Financial institutions, main categories: banking sector, other deposit-taking institutions, specialized financial institutions, contractual savings institutions. What comes under banking sector? CBSL, LCB, LSB. What comes under other deposit-taking institutions? licensed finance companies or registered finance company, thrift and credit cooperative society, cooperative rural bank. What comes under specialized? They do specific activities: primary dealers, unit trust holders, share brokers, primary dealers, unit trust holders, share brokers, venture capital companies, and also you can write market intermediaries, right? Okay. And then financial instruments, you all know we can classify it as what: short term, long term. Short term means treasury bills, okay, commercial papers, right? Internal, if the foreign exchange rate, this one, okay. And then if I take long term means shares, debentures, will corporate bonds, will, which is debentures, comes under long term. Financial market, I said you all, based on origin, primary, secondary, based on nature, debt and equity, based on time period or maturity period, okay, time or maturity. We have money market and capital market. Financial infrastructure, I was repeating it again and again: SLIPS, SIPS, SEFT, SSDS, SWIFT, RTGS, also about Lanka Settle, also about LCPL, Lanka Clear Private Limited. Harine, Haribida. Okay, we then looked into those things. Then we studied, guys, okay, how can a company be listed under three methods? One, initial public offering. Other one is offer for sale. Other one is through an introduction. How can they be listed? There are two main. One is main board. Other one is Dirisai board. Main board, 500 million investment should be there. Dirisai board, 100 million. Main board, 25% holding should be with the public. Dirisai board, 10%. Main board, continuous 3 years profit should be there. Here they should be operating for at least 1 year, and they should have audited reports, right? Okay, simple differences. What is the default board or the watch list board, guys? Okay, right? Sometimes if they do not fulfill the regulations given by the company registrar, okay, to be listed in the main board and the Dirisai board, so if they do not follow, if they don't comply, they will be put into watch list board for a temporary time period until it is been corrected. And then, guys, okay, we studied about like the direct and the indirect benefits that you can obtain as a investor in Colombo Stock Exchange. What is CDS we studied, and also now you learn CDS is a private limited company which is a subsidiary of the parent company, which is what? Colombo Stock Exchange, right? Okay. And then you all should know what is meant by Security Exchange Commission too, right? Okay. And very importantly, I never discussed separately advantages and disadvantages of each source of finance. Internal, what is advantage, disadvantage, external, direct, indirect, and short term, long term. So sources of finance: direct, indirect. You know what is direct? Without an intermediary. Indirect with an intermediary. Short term, long term, maturity, guys. Okay. And internal means your own money. External means outsiders' money. Understood? Reply at the end of the. Understood? ඔළුවේ ටිකක් තියෙනවද ඔක්කොම? ඒක 100ට ලිමිට් එකත් හොඳයි පුතා. ඒතර කවුරුත් ඇවිල්ලා නැත්තම් ඉස්සර මොනවද කරන්නේ? පස්සෙන් නම් ගාලා එළියට යනවා. දැන් එළියට එක්සිට් වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ බයයි. If you exit, someone will enter නේ. හරි මේ හැබැයි I'm sorry, yeah, people who are watching the recording and did not get a chance. I did not even think about that, okay? Right. හරි පුතා. How questions are tested in SCC? There will be around HRM questions පුතා. HRM questions වලට කලින්නේ finance දෙන්නේ. Finance එකේ දෙකක් වැටේ HRM එකත් එක. Don't සමහර සර්ලා කියනවා you can study part and go for the exam. Don't do that for 26, 25, 26 A level. ඉස්සර එහෙම තමයි පුතා. You can go selected questions. Don't do that. Full make on the. If you are a student who just started studying means අවුලක් නෑ. එහෙම නැතුව අවුරුද්දයක් A level කරලා පුතේ මේ නැත්තම් full revision ඇවිල්ලා don't go and say I will skip this chapter ගාලා යන්න එපා. හරි? එහෙම කරන්න එපා. we had looked into ratios පුතානේ. Ratios බලන්න ඕනේ. Ratios බැලුවා නම් almost done. We have to talk about the share price index things, no? The share price indices. හරි. ඒකක් තියෙනවනේ බලන්න. හරි පොඩි බ්‍රේක් එකක් ගමුද කොහොමද? ඇටි වගේ තියෙනවනේ බලන්න. HRM, I gave you all the writing paper, no? 23, 24. I gave you all the writing paper, ne? You should have done that. I never thought it will be so difficult to stand like this and do, ammo. Right. Yeah. Hari. You all do one thing guys. Did everyone get the PDF set? Revision panti enelaminda mauna ගෙනත් දෙන්න අවුලක් නැහැ. මේ හැබැයි you all got the PDF set තියෙනවනේ? All got the PDF? Guys, reply in the everyone option. Now these are like common questions ne. මට අර එක එක බලන්න ඔයා පුතේ. You all got the PDFs? Yes, ne. Hari. Okay, ඔයාලා එක ආන්සර් කරන්න මම දැන් කොහොමත් කණ්ඩත් ඕනේ guys okay. අපි ආවිලා මේ කාලා at around 10 වගේ. ඔය
8:40.
ඔව්. කවන්නේ නැහැ නේ. 10 shall we? Is it okay? I have to... Guys, 10 not different day. 10ද තව දවසක්ද? You all say. Options දෙයක් දෙන්නම් 10ට කරමු නැත්නම් you all answer all the questions. I'll discuss in a different day. What do you all think? You all say me. I have to only explain you all the ratio and the share price index. ASPI එකයි මේ total return index එක no? Right, okay? ten අම්මෝ different day. හරි අපි මේ ratios ටික බලමු 10ට හරි. So yeah, okay. I'll then may you all can exit and come. I don't know. May first come first serve තමයි තියෙන්නේ හරි. So another day the 10th 10. Okay, we'll do the ratio part at 10 guys. Okay, හරි අපි ratios ටික 10ට කරමු. Shall we? Different day. මම මැරෙයි බං ආය හැමදේම. අද මැරෙන්න බනේනවා. Yeah, you are seated. I'm standing. Asha, කොහොමද ලව් එකනේ? ඈ? ඇත්තට බං මාර I thought ආතල්ලේ කරන්න බලන් අල අමාරුයි. Check the CS. Yeah. PDF is under CSR. Okay, learn commerce එකේ. හරි come at 10 නේ නං ratios මොන හරි plan එකක් තියෙනවා නම් guys වෙනස්කමක් තියෙනවා නම් මම inform කරන්නම් කාලා අමාරුයි නම් ෆරාන්ට බෙරළු පව්වක් හෙට උදේ පන්ති ඔයගලන්ට ආතල් හරියා. හරි guys, okay. So I hope මේ අද කරපු එක ටික තේරුණානේ guys, okay no? So I can හැමදාම වුණත් now next day I will have more online sessions මේ වගේ. මේ ඔයගලන්ට I'll just summarize වගේ explain කරන්න. I can do that at least 1 hour වගේ කරලා recording එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන් නේ. So I will use the iPad and I'll be seated මේක ඇති. හරි. හරි. So අපි 10ට එමු. 10ට meet වෙමුනේ. Okay no? Okay no? හරිනේ? Y'all can leave and join at 10 guys, okay? කලින් පොඩ්ඩක් එන්න මං හිතන්නේ හැමෝම ආවා නම් ලැබේ. recordings එහෙම දෙන්නේ අර හිටපු නැති එක හරි 10ට එමු. Right, we'll meet at 10 guys, okay? හරි. pause කරමු. At 10 නේ, right? I'll talk about the ratios and then we will discuss the right, okay. Right, let's move on to the ratios part, Pudha. Hari. Right, concentrate. When it comes to like accounting, ratios, right? Balanganda, clean. You all can use the chat option also, Hari. Right, same like in accounting itself. Here we have ratios, guys, okay. Actually, what's a ratio, you know? You all know that it is a tool that is used to analyze financial statements. Hari? Okay, sadde hai rone. Now okay, I think. Karne? Right, so guys, accounting, I am hearing my voice again here. Accounting ratio, Buddha, it's a tool that is used to analyze financial statements, right? Okay. Right. I'll exit from this. Right. So guys, it is used to analyze financial statements. So let me say you all guys, what does like analyzing means? Okay, so you study the financial statement, because financial statements, mainly what are the financial statements? You all know, if you are doing accounting, statement of profit or loss, statement of financial position, and cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and you have the notes prepared, right? Okay, but if you're not doing accounting, guys, okay, your business studies 12, at least, guys, you all know, all right, this calculates the profit or loss, this calculates the financial position. So it's just a calculation, no, that gives some information. However, to make proper financing decision, now for example, one company is saying like our profit for the year is equal to 600,000, and another company is saying our profit for the year is equal to 1 million. So I would simply think, not I, a student would think normally this is the best company. Sometimes they would have made 600,000 profit for a sale of 1 million. That means 60% profit. They would have made 1 million profit for a sale of 5 million, which is only 2 million, 20% profit. Is it clear? So we have to analyze by comparing two or more values, which is known as accounting. That's why it's a ratio, because we are going to compare two or more values there. So what is meant by financial, what is meant by accounting ratio? It is a tool which is used to analyze the financial statement, okay, analyzing and then interpreting, no, the results. You interpret the results, saying whether the company is performing better than the previous year, whether they are performing better than their competitors, compare the industry, how are they performing, to know whether the risk of the company in terms of leverage or in terms of like financial stability, in terms of liquidity, is the company facing working capital problems. We have ratios, okay. So first of all, everyone, what is an accounting, what is meant by an accounting ratio? It is a tool which is used to analyze financial statements, okay. That means we analyze and then we, what put it, present, right, proper information rather than just providing information from the financial statement, right? So let's see what are the type of ratios. You all know, if you are doing accounting, you might not even need this session, because in accounting you have done with calculation. However, guys, okay, we will learn about liquidity ratio, right? Okay, we'll learn about liquidity ratio. So what is liquidity ratio? Whether the business is able to cover their day-to-day expenses using what? Their current, or simply whether they can cover their current liability using current asset. So we have two types of liquid ratios. One is known as what ratio? Current ratio, and the other one is known as something known as quick ratio. You all know this, right? So what is meant by current ratio, Putta? What is meant by current ratio? Current ratio says whether the business is able to cover their current liabilities using current asset. So we'll say your liability is 1,000, your asset is 2,000. How many times you can cover? You can cover 2 times. So likewise, whether you are able to cover your current liabilities, current liabilities using what? Current assets. So you can give it as a fraction here. 2 divided by 1 is equal to, right? Okay, so you can give it as a fraction here. And if you simplify this, you get 2. So 2 is considered as a good answer. That means more than 2 is good. But when it comes to quick ratio, or we call it as quick asset ratio, or we call it as acid test ratio. We call it as acid test ratio. You know what does this calculate, guys? This too calculates whether you are able to cover your current liabilities, whether you are able to cover your current liabilities, not using all the current asset, but rather using something known as quick assets. then you would ask from me, so what is meant by quick asset? That is Puta, current asset. However, there is a difference between the current assets that we choose here. This is all the current asset, no? Here the current asset except two items. What is it? Stock and prepayments. So some students are there, they just memorize this, guys. They just memorize this and say, okay, I will do the calculation. You might ask from me why that stock and prepayment is not considered in calculating quick asset. Reason, Buddha, you cannot convert the stock and prepayment into cash without spending effort, time, or a loss, guys. Okay, without spending a loss, because you can't suddenly convert all your stock into cash in one day. Yes, you can. You have to give it like 90% discount. Then only you can sell everything. So a prepayment, once it's paid, you sometimes are unable to reverse it back. So even though if you reverse it back, you might have to. You will get only a portion of it. Therefore, Buddha, other than stock and prepayment, all other assets are known as quick asset. Here, if the answer is 1, it is considered as acceptable. So we have two types of liquidity ratios. Can I get a reply, guys? Okay. A liquid ratio explains the ability, it actually calculates liquidity, the ability of the business to settle their current liabilities using current assets. Can I get a reply, guys? Okay. Can I get a reply? Are they reply? No, I didn't. Okay, right. Next one, guys, okay, we have profitability ratios. You all know that. Profitability. Right, profitability ratio actually calculates, profit means it's in rupees, no, guys. Profitability is a ratio. You compare and give it as a percentage or a decimal or a fraction, right? Profit is in rupees, profitability is with a fraction, decimal, or else a percentage. It compares and say. So we have, guys, okay, we have something known as what ratio? Gross profit ratio. So we have something called gross profit ratio. That means they are asking how much is your profit that you had earned for your sales. So gross profit as a percentage of sales is known as gross profit ratio. Then if you have gross profit ratio, we too have what ratio, Buddha? Net profit ratio. So net profit is the final profit of the business. So here equation is net profit over sales multiplied by 100. However, in business studies, we take net profit before tax. Okay, in accounting, it depends on the sum. Then I had said in your accounting class, in accounting, if they don't mention whether it is gross profit or whether it is like whether it is net profit before or after, I have said you can go after, right? Okay, however, in business studies, we go with before because your guide has said so. Hurry. Right, then, guys, okay, we have something known as return on equity ratio. So what is return on equity? You know, you have to understand what is meant by equity. This is what owner's investment plus any reserve. So this includes, equity includes any stated capital plus any reserves. No, what is reserves, guys? Other than owner's investment, they are able to increase equity. Know how one is retained earning. If you are doing accounting, it's general reserve and revaluation reserve. Right now, business studies students, the profit that they had earned, it is also a component of equity. So here we would write the total equity. So how much is the return they get? It is the profit for the year, means it is after tax. No, profit for the year means net profit after tax. However, you all know, because in accounting this is different, because in accounting we don't study preference shares. Here, Puta, there is preference shares. No, so after minusing any preference share dividend, I hope like most of you all know why we call preference shares as preference shares, preference, because preference shareholders has the first priority, first preference to collect the dividend. After paying them only, the remaining is being allotted or provided to the ordinary share. They have an ordinary right on profit. Preference share have a preference right. So this is the owners. Total equity means the owners, but these owners will not get the profit that is earned by the company. They will get after minusing any dividend paid to preference share. I hope it is clear. And guys, okay, there is one more thing. Return on total asset, no, or we call it as return on investment, or this investment means we can go it as return on total asset. Okay, can I reply? Until now you all understood? I'm checking your chat option. Can I reply? Same thing in accounting, yes, right? Right, next one is, guys, okay, return on total asset, right? Okay, so return on total asset. Now some students are there, they memorize the equations and go for the exam. I had always said you all, business studies theory we did, accounting theory, accounting revision we did, now business revision also we are focusing. So return on total asset means how much are you earning for your total assets that you had invested. So you might think how much you are earning means net profit, no? Yes. So it's net profit, it's after tax. That means it is the profit for the year, right? Okay, net profit after tax. However, we add the interest, guys, okay? However, we add the interest when calculating the return on total assets. So I can't just say, that's how the equation is. I had explained you all the reason. So the reason is what, our aim is to exactly calculate, even guys, let me say, now we are doing capital decision making now in accounting, the last chapter. Even in that, interest payment will not be like a monkey and next class. Interest payment is not considered as a cash outflow, guys, in what when you're doing accounting last chapter. Why? Because the interest payment that we are paying right now, it is not an expense incurred because of the asset. No, it is an expense which is incurred because you finance. No, guys, now for example, I can remember the story I said you all in theory class. I have a photocopy machine. My friend also has the same photocopy machine. I earn a profit of like 100,000. My friend too earns a profit of 100,000. However, my friend had purchased this photocopy machine using his own money or using his father's money. I bought this photocopy machine using a loan. Therefore, I had paid rupees 10,000 as an expense, which is interest for bank loan. After that, my profit is 100. My friend did not finance this using a loan, so he never paid any interest and still he made 100. So I am better than my friend, because if I had invested without taking a loan, my profit would have been 110,000. So for the assets my friend invested, he is earning 100. I had earned 110,000. Understood or no, guys? Godak classes over here, and they won't say that. They will say this is the equation you write down. You will also do the same. Is that clear or no, guys? Okay, understood. But what reply? That's why we add the interest for the. Can I reply? Understood? Good luck. A lot of people don't know why we add that interest and all. They don't know, Buddha. They just think that is the equation. There should be a logic, no, Buddha, for the equation. So look, guys, profitability ratio, gross profit ratio. Now you might ask, what is the logic behind before tax? I said before tax or after tax is fine. Your syllabus guy has specifically mentioned, let them use before tax. In accounting, they have specifically mentioned, it depends on the question. Whatever the question says, you do, right? Okay. Return on equity is easy. How much will the owners earn? Return on total asset means how much are we earning for our asset? Why do we cancel that interest expense? That means we consider interest as also a return because interest expense was incurred because you finance that relevant asset using a loan, guys. Okay. I hope it is clear. Look at the other ratio, guys. Okay. So now we completed profitability ratio and we completed liquidity ratio, right? Okay. Right now, guys, something known as, this is very simple, leverage ratio or gearing ratio. So gearing ratio or leverage ratio, very simple. One is, this measures the long-term financial stability, right? This measures whether the business can sustain itself for long term, right? Okay, so one is debt ratio, Buddha. What is debt ratio? How much is your debt capital, which includes long-term loan, which bears fixed interest rate? Debt capital. In business studies, it is going to be bank loan, debenture, preferentials, right? Okay, debt capital and compared to total capital. So some of you all might ask from me, so what is the meaning of total capital here? You might ask from me, so what does total capital means? So the total capital means it is your debt capital plus the owners. What is it? Equity capital. Right, okay. So what is the debt capital as a percentage of 100? So if you get the answer as 30%, Putta, it is good. In profitability, why don't I say which is good, which is bad? Profit means increasing is only good, obviously. So here debt is just 30%, means what is 70%? It is the other ratio, which is what? Equity ratio, no? That is common sense. You don't want to know both, Putta. If the debt is 30, equity is 70. So how to calculate that? Total capital and how much is equity capital as a percentage. Or you can say 100% minus 30 is equal to 70%. Okay, so very simple. Same thing in accounting too. The other one is, Putta, now you compare debt with total, equity with total, no? The next one is known as debt to equity ratio. So what does debt to equity ratio means? It is comparing the debt capital with the equity capital. That means here we said from the total how much is debt, from the total how much is equity. This is debt as a percentage of what? Put the equity. We'll say this is 2000 and this is 4000, means it is just 0.5, no, or 50% or half. So less than 1 means it is good, Putta, right? Because debt is less than equity. However, there is another equation where some students just memorize, even in accounting without understanding. It is known as interest coverage ratio. Interest, look at the name itself has the meaning. Interest coverage ratio means how many times you are able to cover your interest from the profit, right? So for example, if I say you, I'll say the sales of a business is 1000, the cost of sale is 200, you all know profit is 800. So we have operating expenses, distribution, we have administration, we have other expenses. We'll say 300 100 and 100. Then we have the finance expense, which is the interest expense. The interest expense, we'll say it's minus 300, 400, 500, 300. Interest expense is 50 semi. So you know that after making 50 rupees interest expense, the net profit before tax is, because you pay the tax after minusing off the expenses, no, 800 minus 550 is 250. So you know that තව 5 ගුණයක් ඔයාට interest cover කරගන්න පුළුවන්. You can pay another 5 times of interest. You can cover the interest. So look at the equation. First of all, it is net profit before tax plus interest divided by interest, no percentage and all. This is how many times you can cover. So net profit before tax is 250. Why do we add the interest 50 and divide by 50? There is a meaning, Puta. So 300 divided by 50 means answer is 6 times. So look at this, Pute. After you spend 300, 400, 500, you have 300 profit, no, Puta. That is known as net profit before tax and interest. So your expense is 50, no interest. So from that 300, you can cover 6 times of interest. So why do we write the equation this way? Because net profit before tax already had minus the finance expense once, no guys, okay? So we are saying from this 250 you can cover 5 times. Already you covered once, no? That's what we add that one time again here. Net profit before tax plus interest. Before you pay interest, your profit was 300, your interest is 50, you could have covered 6 times. Understood or no, guys? I just completed. How quick and how easy, I hope so, right? Can anyone say, did you all understand that? Give me a reply. Same thing in accounting I taught you. I always give priority for meaning. You all know that very well, right? Okay. Right? So it's very easy to say write and memorize and do. Some students just blindly believe. The sir says, write this and memorize and do sums. They just follow. You have to always think, why should I memorize? There should be a way the equation is created, right? Okay. Now guys, it is about what? Efficiency ratios, operating ratios, or activity ratios. Okay. So actually in business studies we have what? We have debtors turnover ratio and we have stock turnover ratio, no? Stock turnover. So debtors turnover ratio, in business, in accounting we have debtors turnover ratio, debtors collection period, stock turnover ratio, stock residency period. There was creditors turnover, creditors payment period. There was operating cycle ratio. There was net operating cycle ratio. However, in accounting they have removed all those stuffs. Only we have debtors turnover, debtors collection period, no creditors turnover and all. We have like stock turnover and stock residency period. In business studies, debtors turnover ratio means how quickly you are able to collect the cash from debtors, Puta. So higher the time means it's better. That means quickly they settle the money, Puta. Every time we sell, they pay us. So for a year they pay us many times then. So debtors turnover ratio is, because we can't take opening debtors or closing debtors, they tend to change always. We go with average debtors. So if you ask from me, sir, how to calculate average debtors? Opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2. We just take the average. Then we have to see how much did we sell them. So we had sold them means it's not the sales, Nabuta. It is known as what? Credit sales. So here we get the answer is in number of times. Higher the time, better, because higher the time means they settle us quickly. Lower the collection period. Stock turnover ratio means what, you know, Buddha? how quickly you convert your stock into sales. So here we write average stock, and here we write, we can't write sales because sale is in what? Selling price. So we write the cost of sales. Okay, so here also we get the answer in number of times. We get the answer in number of times. So this is also higher means, higher the turnover ratio means lower the residency period. So what is residency period? Low, the time period is very less that we keep the stocks with us. That means once you bring the stocks, quickly it's converted into sale. Puta. Understood or no, guys? Okay, can I get a reply? You all understood that? Understood? Right. Omega accounting also I had said business. Then Puta, in accounting you don't have, but in business you have. Accounting you had isara papers then asset turnover ratio. Now what is asset turnover ratio? I'll just say, using this using this smart board, I haven't turned a single rupee, guys. ඔmme ස්මාර්ට් බෝඩ් එකෙන් ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරාට රුපියලක්වත් සේල්ස් බලලා නැහැ. පාඩුයි මට. I had done online classes. You all know the way we do online class, right? My class is a hybrid class. Whatever I miss class, I live stream it. So මම මේ ස්මාර්ට් බෝඩ් එකේ මං කිව්වේ ක්‍රිකට් මැච් 4-5 ෆිල්ම් 3ක් විතර බලලා ඇති. හරි? ඒකත් ඇවිල්ලා මම මේකෙන් හම්බ. So asset turnover, how much is your sales? Because you buy, my camera has a good asset turnover ratio, no? Because from my camera I have like made good sales for that asset. But for this asset, my asset turnover ratio is 0, guys. Okay, so therefore it says like how efficient is this smart board? No puta, adat karanne free ne mama metana kare e handa metana naha mata. What is it? So asset turnover ratio means for your total asset, how much is the sales that you had generated? Asset turnover ratio. So this is what puta the ratio in your syllabus, right? Okay. Right. So දැන් අපි පුතා without seeing we බලන්න නැතුව අපි නිකන් කියාගෙන යමු ratios ටික, right? So let's try to say, guys, number 1, liquidity ratio. You should be saying with me, right? It's not memorizing. Liquidity ratio means what? Whether the business is able to settle their current liabilities using current asset. So same is the liquidity ratios, puta. One is current ratio. It's the how much of current liabilities you can settle using your current asset. So what is the equation? Current asset divided by current liabilities. Then what is quick asset ratio, or what is quick ratio, or what is acid test ratio? It is also the same thing. However, it considers the most liquid asset. So what is the current asset which is least liquid? Stock and prepayment. That's why even when you're doing company accounts, when you're writing the current assets, this is not account, this business studies, but I'm helping you in your accounts. When you're recording, you write stock, prepayment, debtors, and only cash. Finally, only we write cash and cash equivalent because we follow the liquidity order, right? That is what? Liquidity ratio. Profitability, very simple. Gross profit ratio, net profit ratio. Gross profit divided by sales, net profit divided by sales. It's before tax net profit. Then with the return on equity, owners equity, then on top what do we write? With the net profit after tax, because you get the profit after tax now. However, you can't enjoy all the profit. You have to pay preference dividend. It's not there in accounting, it is there in business studies. Then with the return on total asset. Return on total asset means how much profit does your asset generate? It's profit after tax, but you add back the interest expense because interest is paid because you finance the asset using a liability. Next, we studied gearing ratios or leverage ratios. There are 3 words. They are high gearing, low gearing, equal gearing. Gearing means the risk puta. High gearing kila kiyanne debt is more than equity. Low gearing means debt is less than equity. It's good. equal gear means debt and equity is same. So what is debt ratio? Debt as a percentage of total equity. What is total capital? What is total capital? Equity capital plus debt capital. What is meant by like the equity ratio? Equity capital as a percentage of total capital. What is debt to equity? Debt capital as a percentage of equity capital. I hope you all understood that. Then we looked into what the efficiency or activity or operating ratios. How efficient you are using your current assets, the working capitals, and all. How is it, guys? Okay, how quickly you convert the stock into sales. What is the stock turnover ratio? What is the equation, guys? Cost of sale divided by average stock. How to find out average stock? Opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. Next one is debtors turnover ratio. What does it mean, guys? How quickly, that means number of times you have collect cash from debtors. Higher the times, lower the period. Higher the times, lower the period. So therefore it is average debtors, and you write above what credit sales. Okay, right? Okay, and then finally asset turnover ratio. I took the smart board as an example. I have never done online classes using the smart board. I have done only 1 or 2 free sessions, right? So this does not generate me any sales. So sales divided by total asset. I hope you all understood. Can I get a reply, guys? Okay. Clear? I just said all the ratios. Next one we have that share price index with all share price index and total return index. You all know what's a price index. No, again it's a tool puta. Now normally when we invest in the share market, share price index gives us some signals, some directions how the share market is like behaving. And you all know that there is bull market and the bear market. Bull market the prices are going down. Bear market, sorry, prices are going up. Bull mehemane bull market. Bear market gaganne pallehатane. So we call it as bear market. ASPI, you should know the equation. You should know the base year, which is 1985, no? And then you should know about the total return index, which calculates the capital gain along with the dividend return. That's why we call it as total return index. You should be knowing about that, Puta. So I hope you all answered the questions. Questions answer karati. I don't think you all had to answer all questions. So let me say you all bring these papers on Wednesday to Mama. So I just explained everything like in a theory class. You all bring this paper on Wednesday too. I will discuss certain things. And ida beriyuna nam puta ida beriyuna mang online naddala tawat karanang. I will even do for information management and business. That is easy, in one day, but I'll explain the entire thing. I will drop a message in the group. I'll meet you all on Friday, Wednesday, full paper ready. And is it okay, guys? Heto de pantitti nisa mangito niga lazy, but still I am shouting metana. Right? You all just answer. You all answer the full set of MCQ, which includes all the past paper MCQs. Right, part 2. I won't give time on Wednesday. We'll be focusing on our main 2 questions, main 2 papers, full 50 MCQ, 8 questions, full paper. Right, okay. Eka Kerala and then puta like. Right, okay. So we will do that and you all answer, and I will also help you all in discussing those questions. Then you are fine, guys. You all watch the recording of the theory. I just brushed up the entire chapter here. So we will do, shall we look into some questions? Right, okay, we'll do it together, right? Bring the paper sets. No, you all answer and come. I'll also bring you the printouts. No worries, mangain na. I'll bring you the printouts. We'll do that way, guys. Hurry. And for those who are watching this recording, sorry you couldn't join the session. It was limited to 100 participants. The package is such, right? Okay. And still almost 100 is there in the class, no? 97, 98 in now. Hondai, yeah, Hondai Okolang Angitia. Is there anything you all want to know, guys? Okay, I will further explain about the ASPI and the total return index, guys. Okay, right? I can explain you all about them also. Those two things along with the equation. Yeah, next two chapters also I'll give you all a very good brush up, as well as if you don't have the physical this one, you all can, I have made the PDF available for everyone. Hari Budainang, is there anything else? My thing yande now tamai. Kande hariya. You are an external student. Right, okay. Probably I will do for the students. You can join, no worries. Right, Buddha. Then good night, Hamama. Hari, tawa sati degai ne. Satu hat degai. Exam ita ready wende Buddha. Wednesday, even if you have school exam, you come to the class of the paper. Hari, ready wende. Good night. 12 ගහන්න වෙලෝ බෑවක් හෙට පන්ති වේ 8 to 5. Okay Buddha. So students who have got the finance management recording, please do watch that too, right? Okay. Walaikum salam, right? Okay.